Hello. Whoa, that's some bright light face. I feel like I need to stand back here so that I look human. Or I can come up here and look Dayblow. Anyway, hi. I'm Jane, and welcome to our time to get creative together. I absolutely love and cherish this time because I have recognized that if I don't have a set time to be creative um, for creation's sake, I don't do it. Like, I am creating my life, my business, relationships, blah, 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 blah. And just to create for creating, that's just like for funsies and to just make something new is not something that I put in my everyday like I want to. Um, I've got a schedule, I've got things to do, right? All those excuses, because that's all they are. They're just excuses to me. So I'm really honored to do this. So this time together is to be creative. And I invite you during this to, you can hang out, watch, whatever. And I also encourage you to do something creative. So that may mean if you don't catch this live, that you hit pause and that you go grab some materials. Maybe you grab paint brushes, maybe use your fingers or whatever else to paint with, a canvas. I've been painting on glass, which I'm going to finish up the painting today. And I'm really excited because I am going to take the tape off today. I just thought about that. I was like, oh my God, I'm taking the tape off today. And I'm so excited. And then over the holidays, my intention is to paint the frame and so that I can share it after the holidays with with the frame because the frame is gold. It's not a bad frame, but I don't like it. I want to change it. Um, so I will show you what I've created so far. And I have two little triangles left to do today, which is what I'll do. And I also want to share a poem before I begin. But it's interesting. I didn't even think about this today when I put this sweater on, but I had chosen sometime during the past week of what color scheme I want to do on these last two triangles. And I was like, purple. I want to do purples. So I set the paints out last week. And these are the three colors that I'm going to be kind of playing with. Which, but I love sunlight because it's great until it reflects off of things and you just can't see anything. So either way, oh, maybe you can kind of see. So I have like those two tones and then that one. So anyway, I want to use purples for these. And look at that. Get myself in the mood. I didn't even know it. Um, so sharing with you the order of things, I got a little cup of water for my paintbrushes. And now I'm going to get my palette and set it. Oh, actually, I'll show you what I've done so far before I set the big palette on there. So this is what I have done. Ta-da. That's it. That is this giant painting. And you can see me, so you can see how giant it is. So you can see I set the paint on the one empty triangle. And then there's that white one that's over there on the far side, like back there, that I'll be doing. Good morning, Mom. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. Oh, it got all tangled up. Oh, dropping things. It's okay. So I'm gonna set my palette on here. How you doing, Mom? I love that you get to tune in live. It makes me really happy. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to take the tape off today. Like I'm gonna paint these two triangles, and I'm gonna take the tape off. I'm gonna take all the tape off except for the pieces that are around the two areas that I'm going to do today. So stick around for that because it's going to be the magical part. And I have got to drink this because I need some substance. Purium. Okay. So first things first. Feeling good? Have you done anything creative since last week? Have y'all done anything creative in the last week? Y'all know it's not an art project until I get my smock on. I even wash this occasionally. And by occasionally, I mean, I think I've washed it twice. I know, I can't wait to see it without the tape either. I am So excited. So let me make sure my phone is off. That would have been rude. So I want to read this little poem. I pulled a card. I pull cards every morning, just get a little spiritual reading in. You put up a Christmas tree? I would love to see a picture of that. So the poem that I want to read that has inspired a lot of my day so far. It's a Rumi poem. It's a little book of Rumi poems, and then it adds more text around each poem. It's a short one. Hey, Darlene, how are you? Check this Rumi poem out. It's very short. It says, "Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle." Now, isn't that just profound? I'll read it again. I like that the first sentence actually has an exclamation point. Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. And it says, let's see. It says, "Let us dissemble and lose our heads to the great music, the rhythm held steady in our beating hearts. Our feet shall be moving while our minds, inadequate to the task, take the night off." And it talks about how, if we're thinking about each step, right? I keep thinking about the next step. I keep thinking about what the next move is going to be. I keep thinking about literally in this idea of even dancing. If I keep thinking about what's going on next, I'm not present to now. I'm not enjoying now. I'm not letting the heart, the rhythm of nature, the rhythm of life be what moves my body. Instead, it's just my mind trying to make everything happen. And so what they're saying in that poem to me is, a thread can go through the eye of the needle, but if it has a head, if it has a knot on it, it can't go through the needle. It can't get to where it really wants to go, which is through the eye, right? And you can even dive deeper into that. Like, what eye is that? It's the third eye. It's that the eye of intuition, the portal to the divine, the portal of the heart. And I'm like, I needed this today. I needed this message to lose my head. Just lose my head. Get out of my head. My head has so much information that it's moving and storing and filing away and processing of data. We all are. And just lose our head and just get into a dance, get into a rhythm, and let life move us. Let the heart be what guides us, right? Let this just movement be what takes us. And to me, that's what creativity is. That is what creation is. It is letting whatever it is come out and move through us without thinking so logically about it. Because when we think so logically about it, then it's just created by the mind. And there's nothing wrong with things that are created by the mind and logic alone. Of course not. But it's the dreams and it's the heart that makes life way more fun and way more beautiful and just more unique and more pleasurable and just more. It just makes it a more rich experience. And so it was just a really appropriate poem. So thank you for listening to all of that. I would love to know your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on that while I get my purple paints out and move the camera a little bit so that you can see a little bit more, because I'll start with that one. What are your thoughts on that poem, on that Rumi poem? I have a friend who has a child, a little boy, and his name is Rumi. Isn't that cute? The divine little nugget. But all kids are, really, if you think about it. Little teachers. Kids are such little gurus. Kids aren't getting in their mind. Like, when they're playing a game, they're just playing the game, they're doing the thing, and they're having fun, and they're not wait a minute, let's think about this. They don't. That's not what kids do. Set my paints right there. I'm going to read that poem one more time in case you missed it. Because I would like to know, I'd like your feedback and thoughts on this, y'all. It says, "Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. Poems. I like roomy poems. Okay, I'm going to paint this triangle, y'all. I'm so excited about these purples. And I was wondering, like, oh, what color am I going to use? What color scheme? I've already used purples, but I use, like, there's purple in this, but it's mostly, like, pinks. Duh. That's kind of how I get. I'm like, I don't want to use too many colors that are the same. So my house looks like a rainbow inside. Let's see, do I want to put dark on the bottom or light on the bottom? Let me feel into this. Because I'll probably flip them. Dark. That's interesting. That's one that I have the least color of. Ooh, I'll do the medium color. That's what I'll do. Okay, thanks for listening to that contemplation there. So, y'all, it's coming up on holiday time. People be feeling all the things. Planets are doing their big time dance moves in the galactic space. It's getting nuts out there. It's getting nuts out there. People getting triggered, clearing out some stuff. Bonkers. It's a bonkers time to be alive. I'm so excited to remove the tape. I want to be where I am with this painting. Not be thinking about the tape. That's another step. Let's see. I would love your thoughts on that poem. Do y'all let your head get in the way? I was working with a client recently, and I'm supporting their exploration and activation and discovery, really, of their spiritual gifts. And I was asking them some questions, and I noticed that they were thinking about the answer, which isn't good or bad. And I then prompted them to feel into it. Like, what are you sensing? Are you smelling anything? Are you feeling anything in your body? Are you hearing anything? To get them to tap into the rest of their sensory system, because we've been so taught that the brain, the mind, is the only thing to follow, right? That it's all about intelligence. But we have a lot of senses, right? That tapping into them, I think that's like where we really start to get creative ideas and creative visions. Okay, so I've got the base coat on. You can see that. I'm not going to clean up the paintbrush. Okay, I want to put the light one over here. Yeah. I'm going to blend them together. Interesting. I'm curious. So, Mama Jane, you said you put up a tree on the coffee table. I am not putting up any holiday decorations, although I want to put up like holiday lights outside. I need like physical human support to do that. And to take them down, because that's a whole other ball game, y'all. Taking those lights down, that's a thing. So you see how I like kind of just like put, yeah, you can see that. You can, I took a light paint and I just plopped it on. You'll see more here in just a moment. Cleaning off my paintbrush. Hang on. because I get to, I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm not really sure how to set it. I don't remember how I had it set up last week so that you had a better view. I don't remember how I had it set up. I will, is it okay? Is it like, no, it's useless, change it. Please let me know, but for real. Because here I am. I want it to be seenable. Seenable? Yeah, that's a word, y'all. Mm-hmm. Seenable. I'm just taking a smaller paintbrush and tapping this. I wonder. Squiggles. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to tap this. So what I'm doing, so the lighter color that I put on there, I put it on there really thick. And now I'm taking the smaller paintbrush and tapping through just to kind of mix it all around, but not to blend them together too much. And then I'm going to take a darker tone, a darker shade of the purple, and go squiggles. Not yet, okay. So I'm just gonna I'm making very light-handed, like super duper light-handed. I'm barely touching it. I'm trying to not touch the surface of the glass underneath. I'm actually just trying to touch the paint, which is weird. So I'm dipping in the dark and moving it a little bit back and forth. It's not easy, and I don't know if I like it, but I'm doing it right now. I can always change my mind. I can always change the flow with what I'm doing. Yeah, I like it. Get in now. Get in now. Purple. Dark purple. There we go. Yeah, I wish I remembered how I had the camera set up last time. I get to set cameras up all the time, and I never really remember how I did it from the previous time. And I'm at a point where I'm like thinking I may need a new device, like a new computer, which is exactly what you want to hear, right? Is that like, oh, I need to get a new thing. Good job, self. Are you going to put up some inside decorations? I'm not. Um, I don't have time right now. My schedule is a wee bit crammed until the 20th. That's when school gets out, so I'll have a little bit of time and space then. And at that point, I don't really want to put up decorations because I want to enjoy them longer than the 5 days or 2 weeks or whatever until the end of the year. Because that's when I would take them down. Is like I would take them down at the beginning of the new year. If they're outside lights, I think I would just leave them up year round. Actually, because I like outside lights. But yeah, my time has been very full lately. And that's where my mind is. I'm really glad I read that poem this morning because my mind is trying to like wrap around, like, how am I going to do all of these things? You know, Jane, you've made so many commitments and you need to do this and you said you were going to do that. And like, if you keep these commitments, that's, you know, because you should. My brain then also says, or my heart, I guess, actually is saying, what about me? You need to feed yourself, Jane. Is that something that, meaning I've been so busy that like, I'm almost out of toilet paper and I have barely any food in the house. And I don't have the time in my schedule to go to Target or the grocery store. So the idea of putting up holiday decorations, they're literally, I don't even know how that could happen. But not saying I don't want it. So I'm in a position where I get to cancel some stuff and listen to my body to nourish it and to rest it and to take care of it and break commitments to remember that my first commitment is always to my own health. And that is not the easy part. Do y'all ever get like that? Mama Jane says, understand I have another tree coming today that I'm placing on the dining room table. Oh, for Eleanor. Oh, that is adorable. She's going to love it. She's going to love it. That's exciting. I'm assuming if it's going to go on the dining table that it's not a huge 8-foot tall tree. Although that would be hilarious. That would crack me up if you put a huge tree on your dining table. You'd be like, how are you going to eat? How are you going to eat? Ooh, okay, so check this. I want to add more of this, like the undercolor. So, okay, no, it's only 24 inches. Okay, so I did that one. I want this cord to be a little longer. That was a close-up shot to my face. Okay, so I just did that one, and I used this mid-tone color purple for it. So I want to add more of that to the top. So I've just like plopped it on, and then I've made like little squigglies. So I want to add some more of that, but in a different way, which means I get to use a different brush. Yes. I want to use one that's more like that and less flat. Okay. Just want to like, a little nervous. Yeah. Okay. Good. Just want to like tap into the. I am enjoying this so much. Yeah. I want it to look like it's been poured on in some areas. Make it really thick. But yeah, taking care of the self first. Sometimes that's a challenge because we make commitments. And it's interesting, like astrologically, this time is where we get to look at our commitments. And cancel them or change our minds. And I'm like, oh, great. It just doesn't feel good to me. How do y'all feel about that? Like, how do you feel about canceling commitments? There we go. I think that's all I wanted. Like, how do you feel about canceling? I hate canceling stuff. And then to me, that's like pushing the needle, the thread through the needle when it has a knot on the end. It's like there's so much resistance. Moving down to this one right there. Boop, boop. Now I'm the headless one. I only have arms. Okay. Okay. I want the dark purple as the base of this one. Dark purple. Thanks for your patience while I was working on that one that was far away. Thank you for your patience. I want that on there. It's a thicker paint. Sometimes you don't have a choice even though you hate canceling. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I guess we always have a choice though, right? It's like I don't have to cancel, but then I would be suffering and coming up short, like I would be coming up short. I would not be listening to my body that's like, "Hey, you need to rest or you need food." um as opposed to listening or choosing the guilt of, "Oh, I feel bad if I cancel and this person did this for me," and those things that come up when we have to cancel. You know, I don't want to make anyone else uncomfortable, so I'll make myself uncomfortable, even though my body is telling me, "No, don't do it." So when you paint with the tape, like I try to not overlap it fully because it's so narrow. There we go. Plus, I want to be able to see it for when I pull it off. I'm gonna get so much satisfaction from pulling this tape off. You don't even know. And I hope it looks okay. It's gonna really suck if it doesn't. But I mean, worst case scenario is that it doesn't look the way I thought, and wasn't that just life? Wasn't that just life? There we go. Yeah, you have to prioritize. I agree. And I feel like we get lost in our heads and forget really how to prioritize like our heart. Like how have we grown into a society that literally has forgotten how to prioritize our heart, to prioritize peace and harmony? Like, because our bodies are always trying to get into homeostasis. Like, we're always moving toward harmony, unless our head is stopping us, right? Instead of righteousness or commitments or whatever. So I put the darker purple on there and now I'm just tapping through it to give it this texture. Boop, boop, boop. Breathing. How much patience is this? What is that? Oh, it's the same. Do you feel like you prioritize your head or your heart? Or does your head just prioritize itself? Is it like the bully that's like, no, 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 me. Don't listen to the heart. They don't know what they're doing. Don't trust your heart. It hurt you before. It's like, well, actually, the heart never hurt me. It was just my mind wrapping around meaning to what my heart experienced. I was talking with a kid this week who is 11. I was talking to an 11-year-old this week, and they were sharing with me an experience they had at another school. And they were so like aware, and it was just fascinating. So I want to share it. They were sharing how they had met another student, and that this other student is always like a victim. And I was like, ooh, let's talk about that. and just kind of started to have a conversation around when someone is a victim. I know this is totally off topic, but like whatever. Um, and how when someone is a victim and in a victim mindset, then everyone else around them is a bully. And this kid was like, yes, they were telling everybody that I was bullying them. And I could and the story, like I could tell, like I know that there are always three sides to every story. Um and I was kind of picking up on what their experience was. And it was so very interesting that they had this awareness of victim mentality as an 11-year-old. Like, can you imagine having that awareness as an 11-year-old that someone is the woe is me, the world is against me, everyone's against me. That's the mind. That's not the heart. I'm making like little dots and then I'm tapping around them. I'm thinking you can probably see that. Yeah. So have y'all been sleeping? I've been sleeping. Been talking to a lot of people lately whose dreams are like out of this world. They're like traveling, going different places in their dreams that they've never been, or experiencing stuff that they're like, what is that? This is interesting. Hmm. Yeah, it's a rush society. Everyone trying to keep up with the Joneses, prioritize based on common sense and what is best and healthy for you. I think a lot of times people don't know what is actually best and healthy for ourselves, right? Like we literally don't know. I think we turn on a commercial and it's like, oh, I have to prioritize going to as many holiday functions as possible because that's the Joneses. It's like, how do we know the difference of how and where to prioritize ourselves when everything around us is telling us what to do and how to be? I mean, even down to commercials. I didn't realize that. So I haven't had a TV since what, 2011, and I really forget a lot about like what is in the mainstream media and on in the commercials and how much they're still like pharmaceutical commercials all the time. Like I had no idea. I had no idea. I don't know why I didn't have an idea, but I didn't. This is so satisfying to watch these colors kind of blend together. We need to be ourselves, not what society thinks we should be. That is so true. But what if you only have been hearing messages about what you're supposed to be? Then how do you know the difference? Like, how do you even know how to like tap into that part of yourself to hear what you are, to see what you are, to experience who you are? Like, if society's always telling us the thing, it's kind of like if someone grows up and they've only been told, you're stupid. Like, if that's the only message that they've ever been told, then like how would they know that they're not? You know? Like how would they know? Yeah, I'm adding a little bit of magenta to this. Yes, magenta. You're lost in a fake world. But what if you don't know that? How do you know that you're lost in a fake world? you know? Like, if I've only been told and reflected that things are X, Y, and Z, then all I believe is X, Y, and Z. And we can look at that like when we go to like really remote areas around the globe, and there are humans that have lived where they live for like ever, right? And they've not seen cell phones and cars and things like that. And then people go there with their cars and their cameras and their phones and stuff, and these people are like, what is that? Like, what is that? What do you have? Like, what? I don't even know what that is. And it's not that they're dumb, it's just that they've not been exposed to that. They literally don't know about whatever that is that's coming into their reality because it's never been experienced before. I guess it would kind of be like, if we were hanging out here and then, a spaceship from the sky just appears, we'd be like, what? You don't, since you were programmed into the fake world. Yeah, look at the outcomes of some wealthy kids. Oh yeah, and that's the story of Buddha. Did you know that? The story of Buddha was just that. Um, and the king didn't want him to experience pain and suffering, and so he hid from the Buddha, from his son, the prince, right? Even though that wasn't the term that they would have used, they would not have said prince. Anyway, but he hid struggle from him. The ruler hid from Buddha pain and suffering and death. He hid all of these images from him. And then one day Buddha was out and saw all of these things. Like they all came to him and they were like, hey, this is what experiencing homelessness looks like. This is what aging looks like. This is what death looks like. And Buddha was like, what? OMG, right? He saw it and he was like flabbergasted. So he went back to his dad and was like, how could you, homie? And then he like left his wife and his kid for like 12 years or something. That's when he found himself and became the great teacher of the Buddha that we know. But yeah, it's like if whatever it is that we are surrounded by is the reality that we know, and we don't know what we don't know. It's like I've talked to people who have grown up very wealthy in the monetary sense, and then they literally just don't have a concept of what it's like to be in struggle. Like they literally just they don't get it. And so then they have a hard time forming compassion for someone that is having a hard time because they don't get it. They're just like, oh, they're just lazy. They don't, they just don't understand it. And it's not that those people are bad for not understanding it. They just have never seen that program, and then when they do, they're like, I don't get it. Why don't they just get a job? I've always been able to get a job. Why can't they just get a job? That lack of understanding. I feel like if we can tap into our heart, that's where we start to feel the understanding. So when we're always in that head that we're like, I don't get it. And then if we don't allow ourselves to drop into the heart, then we don't experience it. We can't have compassion or sympathy or empathy and be of support. All right, check it. Can you see that? Can you see what I did? It is that. Okay, can you see that? I did that one. I feel good with that. I want that to be kind of dark but light. Okay. I'm getting ready to pull the tape off. Don't worry, I'll move the camera so that you can see because it's going to be satisfying. I feel like a drum roll, please, is in order. Are you ready? Okay. I'm going to move this. Okay, I'll start over there. I'll start over there because it's going to be the furthest away and hardest to see. So I'm going to leave the tape here because this is the space that I just completed and it's still wet. If I pull it off when it's wet, the paint is likely to spread into the space that I've painted. So I've learned this from painting a wall. So this is the way I do it, is I pull it close to the painting. So I'm not going to pull up. I'm going to pull along the plane of the glass. Ooh! Well, dang it. Okay, well the tape ripped on that one, so I'm gonna go on this side. Oh, tape is ripping. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. Keep on coming, baby. Oh, come on. I'll go the other direction now. Y'all, come on. You like how I'm saying y'all? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the paint. I'm talking to the tape. I'm talking to all things holy. Come on, tape. You can do it. You know you want to come off of the painting. You want to come off of the glass. You were coming off easier earlier when I was trying to put you on it. Satisfying. It's all relative, I suppose. I forgot I made those squiggly tapes. Okay, this one's going to come off way easier. I can feel it. If I keep my thumb, oh darn. Nope, it ripped again. If I keep my thumb close to the painting, oh dear, I'm pulling off. The straight pieces are going to be easier. So when I first created the tape, I had cut pieces like squiggly. I don't know if you remember, since I've painted over it. I think that's tape. Yes. Okay, that's more tape. I had cut it with an X-Acto knife to make a squiggle shape. So apparently, although that can be cool, it is actually rather quite difficult to remove from the painting. So these are lessons to learn. I'll learn them for you and then share them from my lived experience. That's why PRN is a peer support network. We learn through experience and then we share. I'll get back to that. Where's the other one? Here we go. Okay, let's try this one, y'all. Why is this tape? This tape is like committed. If this tape were on a wall, I think it'd be pulling off all the paint. Oh. Okay, so if you use actual painter's tape and not the craft paint, I am learning in this now moment that it sticks way more to glass than one would ever anticipate. So I'll be working on that one probably after this hour. This will be my own homework, I suppose, is getting that off. So I'm going to wait on the squiggles because that's going to take patience and time. Okay, so back to the craft paint, which is going to come off much easier. Okay, you ready for this? For the love, are you serious? Why is it sticking so much? Y'all, this is funny. I was so excited about this part. Y'all, you know this, right? Maybe I'll try here. Okay, it's happening. Okay. Maybe I just needed to start right there. Yay, I got one. No, why is it ripping? Why? I wonder if it was from sitting in the sunlight. So use painter's tape. Don't use painter's tape. So I used craft tape, which is very similar to painter's tape. It's just thinner and doesn't have as much adhesive on it. Although I'm wondering, because I have it sitting in the window for light, I'm wondering if sitting it in the window, if the sunlight kind of like messed with the adhesive and like melted it to stick more to the glass. Because that's possible. So lessons being learned every day. But can you see it's happening though? It's happening. I'm doing it. There we go. Okay. It's like when you're pulling a label off of like a piece of glass, how it's like it comes off really well and then all of a sudden it doesn't. That's what's happening. Something that we thought would be so easy and so fun is coming out to be so much more difficult and not like what I anticipated. I'm going to get it off. It just may take me working on it in a whole other now because it keeps like pulling up in little baby bits and then it's like fraying. And so to get it up, I can use my nails. The only challenge to that is, like I said, the good thing about painting on glass is that you can scrape it. So when you're peeling the tape off, if you're using your fingernails, then it can actually scrape off the paint really easily, like for real easy. And that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want to pull the paint off. Just the tape. Come on, tape. You want to come off. You know you do. Thank you in advance. Like, thank you, Martha Stewart, for having really sticky craft tape. I appreciate you so much, Martha Stewart. Thanks. It looks amazing. Thank you, Charles. I'm learning, though, that the tape doesn't want to come off. I think that having it sit in the window, like between over the weeks of me working on it, has created the adhesive on the back of the paint of the craft tape to get like super sticky. And so it's like super sticky. This is going to be a project that I really was not anticipating this part to be like a challenge. This was supposed to be the fun part. Oh, is this not a message just in life? Like, damn it. I thought this was going to be the fun part. I guess it was an expectation, but not like that. It was just like when you go to Target, you expect to get toilet paper, and sometimes you don't. See, did you see that? No, you didn't see that. It just ripped off. Let's see. Can you see? No? Okay. I'm pulling more off. I'm just hoping for the best at this point. Nope. It's just, oh, okay. Please come off. Please come off. Please. Maybe if I go up. Maybe if I do go up. Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I figured it out. Get a happy dance, because I think I figured it out. Ooh, I'm excited. Mom says, I have no doubt you get all the tape removed without damaging the paint. Because my OCD. Yes. Okay, check this. Can you see over here? Okay, so you know how I said I was pulling like flat across? So I just did this on the other side. If I can get this up. So instead of pulling flat, I'm just going to pull straight up. Okay. Lesson learned. Pull straight up. So sometimes it takes us a moment. We try our best. We rip things up. We try our best. We rip things up. We try our best. We rip things up. And then we're like, okay, I'll just try a different way that I thought was going to mess it up. And lo and behold, not only does it not mess it up, it's the way to go. Wow, that's a lesson. I mean, it's still ripping, but it's not as bad. That's been a lesson that I've been learning this week. I've had some experiences where I've been like, kind of like avoiding confrontation just because, like, oh, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to mess up the friendship. I'm going to mess up the job. I'm going to mess up this or whatever. And so I haven't been communicating. Oh, yeah. As clearly and authentically. And then, like, eventually it has to come out. You know, like this tape has to come off. And so I'm learning, like, okay, I'm just going to have to speak up. And just the consequences are just going to be what they are. You know, like, if I have to say, if I say something and if it makes my friend mad, and they never talk to me again, well, I've had worse. You know, it's not my desire. But I also just got to speak up sometimes. Okay, I'm back to the squiggle paint tape. I'm pulling straight up with this one to see if it, well, no, not really. So regular painter's tape, it's definitely more sticky than the craft tape. So many chances for learning. You got this. Thanks, Charles. Well, this is definitely going to take me a long time to get this off. And I'm okay with that. Just going to try a couple more pieces around here. There we go. Oh, but that's where I just painted. I don't want to pull that off yet. Fine. Let's see. Nope, wrong way. Where am I? You see. Nope. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm learning that pulling up, well, see, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just that some pieces are just going to be harder and other pieces will be easier. And it is just a reflection of life. But it's happening, y'all. It's coming off. Okay, I'm going to finish this piece right here. And the funny thing is that, like, I can't use a solution or anything other than patience and intricate. Why can't I say that word? Intricate. Dear God. Oh, look, I messed up. Oh, I dipped my finger in one of the paints. Oh, dear. This is where the smut comes in handy. Stay positive and upbeat. I mean, right? I think it's funny at this point. Intricate. I will get to be patient and intricate with my actions. Okay. And getting the little bits off. And trusting that if I pull off paint or too much of the paint, but it just makes it more unique and it gives me an opportunity to do something different next time. Because let's be honest, I'm not going to not paint again because of this. Okay. Sometimes the angle at which you use as in life makes it easier, right? I'm telling you. That's why I really like being creative, is that there are like life lessons in all of this. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to finish this in 6 minutes. So I'm going to work on this over the next week, taking the tape off and show you the finished result next week. And then we'll start something new next week. I'm not sure what. Oh, that's where my finger went. I saw it. Anyway, keep creating and trust that even if you mess up, you know, whatever, you just keep creating and trying something new and try different angles and ways of going at it. And sometimes it's just lessons on how to create something different or how to create something easier, more fun. Sometimes it's just being patient with yourself, whatever. Just allow Look, that one whole one came off. Y'all weren't even looking because you couldn't have seen it anyway. But keep creating and trust that if you mess up, it really is not a big deal. No joke. It's coming off now. That's weird. Anyway, I love you all. Enjoy this day. Keep creating. I will see you next week. Okay, I'll show you this next week. Okay, I love you. Bye.